Welcome back. Flashback Fridays, February 4th, Open Business Network, OVNTV.com. It's the Toni and Griff Show. I'm Griff.
I'm Toni.
And, of course, y'all already know Pastor D. Toni, go ahead and ask him. Well, I'm going to let Toni ask you this question, but I just want to make this comment that you said during the break. And this isn't Toni and I's 25th show here at this station, Pastor, but before we get to our 45th show, we'll have cameras going, and we're moving into another building, so you just seeing a seat as well.
Okay.
We'll have cameras going on, but what y'all missed during the break and what we'll be recording in the future is the words of this man, but something I just caught on the end coming out the room and coming back. You said you'll be going to your 219th murder victim funeral.
I'll be preaching the 219th.
And all 218 of the ones you've preached at before
under 21, and all dead as a result of gunshot, and all at the hands of another African-American person. So that's just my record, and that's on Tuesday in the city of Wilmington. In Philadelphia, they've hit over the 300 mark for murders in the city of Philadelphia. So oftentimes when I'm visiting cities, I speak at the prison at 1 hour, I speak to government in another hour, and then in another hour I'm preaching a murder victim funeral. And that's the call of the pastor today.
Whew.
Praise God. Thank God for you, Pastor.
So, Pastor D, tell us what brought you to Atlanta today.
Well, we're here because there is a lady who is incarcerated here, and we'll just use her first name by the name of Michelle. She's an African-American mom. She's a devout Christian, and she's part, actually, of a 2,000-person street ministry team I developed in the Delaware region. She is the leader of the street ministry that takes women who are practicing prostitution and others off of the street.
Okay.
17 years ago, she lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
And she was then addicted to drugs. And she was caught with a very, very small amount, I would say, half of what we would used to call a nickel bag of marijuana or whatever, something 17 years ago. She left Atlanta, and over time, God changed her life. She's a mom, grandmom, ministry leader, had no reason to believe she had any outstanding warrants of capiases or what have you, because through the course of time, she's been through ID checks with me and what have you. She comes to Atlanta a few weeks ago to visit family, and the driver of the car gets stopped, they ID everybody, take her ID, guess what? They incarcerate her here at the DeKalb County facility. I was in prayer with her family and notified, and when I learned of the circumstances of her hearing today, we contacted the attorneys, and one of her family members who's here in the studio with me this morning, her sister, said, "Pastor, I know this is impossible, but would you send a letter?" And the attorney said, you're talking about the guy, from Oprah, and, if he sends a letter. And I said, no, I'm not going to send a letter. I'm going to come.
Amen.
Because
Amen.
I believe it's important that the judge know, and I want the court to know, that what I saw over at the DeKalb County facility on last night, huddles and hurdles of women and men who had not received due process, who were well beyond the reasonable time frame allotted in every American citizen's right to quick and speedy trial, preponderance of evidence rules, Rule 1644B, and rules of evidence not being followed. People who don't have attorneys, who don't have a pastor like Pastor D, who will fly in from 1,000 miles away just to stand before the courts. But I equate every courtroom as Caiaphas's court, and I'm not going to do a Peter on my members. I'm not going to stand outside the gate looking in and say, I don't know the man. Okay. I'm going to the microphone and say, this is one of my sheep, and appeal to the mercy of this court. So I'm praying for divine favor on this morning as we address the court, to just share with the court who this lady is, and suggest to the court that
from a
maybe,
nickel bag,
just maybe,
let's
we ought to throw this thing out and
send
this mama home.
Not coming to failure to appear.
Failure to appear.
Is there some type of statute of limitation on it?
I would hope there is. It differs. I can tell you what it is in Delaware and in 14 states. Atlanta is not one of them. Okay. But I do know that the discretion of the court is very, very important.
Right.
Here. And the judge has a unique opportunity. And
to
so
say,
I'm
what's
hoping,
going on, our bad, you know.
And I'm hoping my presence will help more than Michelle.
Yes, but it did.
There are other women. Last night when I was there at the facility, you could see me through the glass, and there were a number of people who obviously watch national TV and recognized us. And there were tears in the eyes, not just of the inmate population, but of some of the guard staff. And I hope that they see hope, that they know soon we will come for you.
Yeah.
Just as Jesus will come for all of us. We have to go into the prisons, go into the courtrooms, and we have to go. And we can never be so high and mighty. You can't be a big muckety muck. I always tell my staff, don't be a big muckety muck, because the fall is quick. The rise is step by step, but the fall is bam, and you're on your butt. And them same folk that you look down your nose at are looking at you across the table saying, hey, what's up? Welcome to reality. And so this is as important to me as briefing our president. This is as important to me as when I meet Dr. Bill Cosby somewhere. It's as important as those pictures of myself and Idris Elba and the time that we spend in all of the movie stars. I just did a movie up in Philadelphia, Griff, called Cream. The De Niro movie. And I'm in the movie. I'm in like 4 scenes. I make a cameo in the movie, and I play me.
Good.
Man, I'm playing me.
Yeah. How hard was that?
But let me tell you something. I was late for that. But I won't be late for this court hearing today, because God is going to ask me, what did you do for the least of these?
Amen. You hear that?
Yeah.
But you know what? What Michelle and you guys were a part of somebody else's destiny. She had to be there to minister to somebody.
And that's what she's been doing.
You don't know what she's been telling those people for 3 weeks.
And encouraging people.
Yes, because he couldn't have sent anybody in there in that moment to fall apart and not say anything positive and make an uprise. But it also brought you here to do whatever you here to our viewers and people around the world that don't have a clue and don't even feel what you can become.
Yeah. Well, if it gets
today is the
Griff,
20th anniversary of Nelson Mandela.
Wow, and we have the same story. We have the same.
It is the 20th of him getting out of prison.
If he can get out and become the president of his nation, I can get out and become the mayor of my city.
It's the 20th anniversary, so.
But your name today, it scares me, because you keep saying Flashback Friday. There's some stuff I don't want to
flashback to.
Smoking.
Right.
Some stuff you gotta say. We'll leave it in the past.
We have to.
Let's sing it, baby.